All right, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. Once again, greetings to our non-Muslim fans, any out there. Okay, to the Muslims and the non-Muslim friends out there. Okay, so as I said, we dealt with that. Now we're going to deal with and show that a lot of these claims that they are making about Muslims are not new claims. As far as, the claims that are being made. Now, it's new that they're using them against Muslims. But you will see that these claims that they're making, these bigoted and hate-filled claims that they're making, are the same claims that once were used to demonize Jews in Nazi Germany and in America also. Okay? Because they both were sharing, the white racists in Europe. Not only in Germany, but in Europe as a whole. Some of these claims were also believed throughout Europe. As today, a lot of these same claims are believed throughout Europe about Muslims. And of course, white America also shared in these same, because of course they are descendants of these European people. And they have the same bigoted and racist mentality as well. So you will see, as I'm going to show, that these claims were the same claims they made about Jews in both Germany, Nazi Germany, throughout Europe, and also here were promoted amongst white America as well. Okay? So as I said, since the main claim was about the cannibalism, in Europe they used to claim that Jews ate, cannibalized Christian children, that they would eat Christian children. I believe the term was called blood libel, was the claim that they would put upon them, blood libel. All right? So let's go ahead and let's read about how, historically, Europe, now today these people are supposed to be allies, right? Today you got these idiot Zionist Christians who support the so-called fake Israelites of Israel today. Yet, when you look historically, these people were persecuting them. People were making all kind of crazy and bogus charges about Jews. Now all of a sudden they're ally, even though the Israelites don't believe in Jesus, don't accept him, don't believe he's the Messiah, don't believe he's, anybody worth mentioning. But now they're allies, right? But that's another story. But let's see how historically Christians, European Christians, white American Christians, how you use the same lie that you're using today against Muslims, you used it against Jews. Claiming that Jews could eat or did eat Christian children. All right, let's take a look at it.
For centuries, Christians have repeated this charge. The rich and the poor, the illiterate and the educated alike, firmly believe that annually around Easter, Jews abducted Christian children, circumcised and crucified them, and used their blood to bake bread which was then ritually consumed. In unsolved child murder cases, Jews could be accused, prosecuted, and executed for this legendary crime. The belief was spread in both official records and popular media. Sound familiar? There were ballads, particularly concerning Little Hugh, a Lincoln child who was found murdered in the 13th century. There were pictures to this day. Visitors to London Church in Norfolk can still see Jews gathered around a bleeding crucified child, the legendary William of Norwich. So again, when people claim, oh, well, they made stuff up and, well, hey, just like you do today, you got pictures, you claim you got pictures of Muslims doing this and videos of Muslims doing that. Well, back in those days, they had propaganda too. They had pictures of what they claim were, the eyewitness accounts of what happened and things like that. So, same charge. So be aware that those of you who are making this charge, you are just repeating the same racist and bigoted claims of your European ancestors. In another account, we read of one of the earliest ancient charges, which is in the polemic of Josephus against the Alexandrian grammarian Appian. We read that the later is charged with having accused the Jews of annually fattening a Greek in the temple, killing him, offering his body as a sacrifice, and eating of his internal organs, and swearing an oath of enmity against all Greeks. And here we see some of the the early pictures and propaganda that they had. Here's a picture of some Jews gathered around, cutting up and slicing up what appears to be like a little, Christian child. So, they had their pictures too. And we'll show you some more pictures as we go along. Let's read another account. The first case in which Jews were actually accused of having killed a Christian child for ritual purposes was that of St. William of Norwich in 1144. According to an account recently discovered, Jessop and James, St. William of Norwich, Cambridge, 1899, the disappearance of the boy was explained by a Jewish convert. Now let me stop right here. This also seems like what they're doing today too. You notice how they always get some supposed, former convert or former Muslim to always tell the supposed secrets that the Muslims are hiding, right? So let's continue. So this Jewish convert is the one who supposedly exposed the secret of what was going on. His name was Theobald of Cambridge, as due to a universal conspiracy of the European Jews, who every year cast lots where the annual sacrifice of a Christian child at Passover should take place. And again, here we see another painting showing and displaying, some Jews gathered around, cutting up and draining the little innocent Christian boy of blood and flesh and all this crazy stuff. And we see that it didn't stop there. Of course, as you should know, this idea, this belief continued on into later times, as with in Germany and Nazi Germany. The Nazis had this type of propaganda. The Nazi newspaper Der Stürmer, which is the Stormer, ran a special issue devoted to promoting the blood libel. The headline read, "Jewish Murder Plan Against Gentile Humanity Revealed," and featured a drawing of four rabbis sucking the blood of a Christian child through straws. So this shows us that, again, as I said, this idea is not new. They just rehashed it. They just refurbished it, and now they're using it against Muslims, right? As you see this idiot Theodore Shubat, he's promoting the same type of bigotry and propaganda that many racist and bigoted Christians of the past used against Jews. So now they're using it against Muslims. And here I'll show you a caption from Nazi Germany of the Jews get ready to eat up a man. Yeah, here you see the image from the Nazi propaganda pictures and drawings of, here are some Jews, getting ready to put the man in, they're draining him his blood and, cutting him up, getting ready to cut him up and everything like that. So, when you read the details of this history, it just shows how vile and bigoted, Christians have been throughout history. Now, let me add something just to be fair, that unfortunately there were some cases where they said some of this propaganda had got passed on into the Middle East among some Muslims. And again, that's shameful as well. Muslims, don't repeat these lies that come from, racist European Christians. Because that's where these ideas it didn't originate with the Muslims. It originated. Even the history tells us that it originated with them, and it got passed along, and somehow it crept into some, not all places, but a few places in the Middle East. But again, the origin of it is definitely from white European racist, bigoted, intolerant Christians who just seem to have a history of this kind of thing, and now they're doing it again with Muslims in this century and day and time.
Okay, so the next claim that was also used by these white racists here in America, white racist Christians here in America, and white bigots and racists throughout Europe, not just Nazi Germany, throughout Europe. Another claim, this one particularly, but it's going to go to, kind of deals with Nazi Germany. But again, a lot of these beliefs were propagated throughout Europe. And that is the claim that the Jews are allowed to lie to the Goyim, or Gentiles, the unclean people. That they're, in other words, the non-Jews, the non-believing people, the Jews, the non-Jews, the infidel, whatever you want to, in context of Judaism. These people used to promote, and of course they still do today, go to these white racist Christian websites like Stormfront or Christian Knights of the Ku Klux Klan or any of these white racist groups, and you go to their Jewish section where they talk about Jews, you will see that they still believe this today. They still promote the idea that the Talmud teaches that Jews are allowed to lie and use trickery and deception against non-Jews. Same thing they say about Muslims today. Now they've taken that from Jew. I wonder who concocted this stuff, because it's funny that you find that Jews are also, not all Jews, but also some Jews know better, but there are many Jews like Pamela Geller and a few others who are promoting these same lies on Muslims that was once perpetrated against their own Jewish people. That's a matter of fact. Some of these people, their parents are still alive, yet here you are propagating these lies that were once used against your parents in Germany. Now you're propagating them against Muslims. You should be ashamed of yourself. So it makes me wonder who actually put this Islamophobia industry together and started promoting these lies. Because it's very strange that you, as a Jewish person, a European Jew, would repeat the same lies and misinformation that was used to demonize your own people. Now you're using that in line, in allegiance with Christians, with white Christians particularly, to demonize Muslims now. I find that real interesting. Not only that, that's the other one, right? So let's go ahead and take a look at that one.
All right, so going back to the earliest times, we have one of the fathers of Protestant Christianity, Mr. Martin Luther, and he wrote some very nasty things about Jews, particularly this idea about them being able to lie. And he wrote a book entitled The Jews, On the Jews and Their Lies. Here is a cover of it in the original language. I believe that was in German. And here is a translated copy of it here, as you can see the title, On the Jews and Their Lies. And he wrote very nasty things about them, claiming they could lie and things like that. Another famous European promoting lies that the Jews could lie was this man here, Julius Streicher, this devil here. He used to write, he was like the editor of this magazine, Der Stürmer, which you see here, which is meaning the stormer. And it was basically a propaganda magazine that just used to print a bunch of evil and vile things about Jews and all kind of things like that. And he also promoted the idea that Jews were allowed to lie to Gentiles. And of course, just like the haters do today, they claim that it's in our sources. We can show you from the Muslim sources. Well, he said we can show you from the Jewish sources, and he would use some supposed quotes from the Talmud, claiming that it says that the Jews could lie and cheat Gentiles and things of that nature. So again, these claims, so again, all they've done is they've taken that same charge, and now they said, oh look, yeah, Muslims, you're allowed to lie to the infidel, to the non-Muslim. And it's the same thing that they were saying that Jews could do. So you wonder, is this a coincidence, or is this by design? I think it's clearly by design. There was also a good article that was done not too long ago entitled Islamophobia and Anti-Semitism, Same Thing, which documented side by side statements from like Robert Spencer and Julius Streicher, showing how the claims that they're making today about Islam, and compare them to the statements that were made by the racist Nazis about Jews, and show how they're very similar, if not almost the same charges and claims. And here's one example here, where again saying that the Jews can lie, and Robert Spencer claiming that Muslims can lie to protect Islam or promote Islam and things like that. So it's definitely there, and it's definitely clear to see. Here is another example. This is an article by a Reverend Ted Pike entitled Talmud Encourages Jews to Deceive. He writes, what kind of religion sanctions deception and immorality for the sake of political goals? Orthodox Talmudic Judaism. The Babylonian Talmud encourages Jews to cheat and deceive Gentiles wherever necessary. In fact, by way of deception is the motto of Israel's spy agency, the Mossad. Now, the last part is true. I have to, well, like I said, I've done some research. The Jews claim that, that these passages are being misquoted from the Talmud, that they don't actually say that. That's what the Jews say. The Jews say, no, it doesn't actually say that they can lie and cheat Gentiles. But his last part about by way of deception, that is actually the motto of the Israeli Mossad. So here you have it. You see that these claims are the same claims, just being rehashed and reused now against Muslims. That's all. So you guys who are using this, you're bigots. Be clear about that.
Okay, now the next one. You've heard of the book called The Protocols of the Elders of Zion, right? This is a book. It's said to be a forgery. They claim it's a forgery. Okay, right? They say it's a forgery. But the book is said to be what was supposed to be the secret notes or the secret handbook of the Jewish conspiracy. It talks about how the Jews, it's supposed to be their own writings and how they amongst themselves conspire to take over the world, conspire to infiltrate societies, infiltrate Western societies and take over white Christian societies, infiltrate, take over the banks, take over the media, right? So today you go to the white racist Christian sites and white racist, white supremacist sites, and they still have these ideas promoted that the Jews own the banks, that the Jews own all the TV stations and things like that. Okay? Now I'm not going to say whether they do or not. You check for yourself and you find out who owns a lot of these things. I can't confirm if that's true or not. But you check yourself and you see that they say, look, the Jews own the banks, Jews own the media and all of that, and the Jews were infiltrating, right? That's what they say the Protocols of Elders of Zion is about. So guess what they did? They came up with a Muslim version of the Protocols of the Elders, but they call it the Muslim Brotherhood document or something like that, right? The secret Muslim Brotherhood documents, giving the Muslim Brotherhood some kind of worldwide, power, as if they're some powerful, far-reaching, group of people, right? So everything is, so they claim that they found some documents, supposed to be from the Muslim Brotherhood, where the Muslim Brotherhood is conspiring to infiltrate Western society. But now instead of Jews being the ones, now it's the Muslims who have the secret document conspiring to, infiltrate white Western Christian societies and take over by infiltrating. So you started hearing the thing called creeping Sharia, right? You started hearing about creeping Sharia. This idea comes from that idea that they supposedly found. From what I understand, no substantiation to such documents. No, just like the Protocols of Elders of Zion. No real proof to substantiate whether it was a Jewish conspiracy or not. Same thing with these supposed documents from the Muslim Brotherhood. Look, let me tell you one thing. The Muslim Brotherhood doesn't even have that kind of power. They don't even have that kind of power. For years, they were trying to get, run for elections in Egypt. And for years, Mubarak kept them, out of the elections. You see? So to claim that, now they have some power because of them getting elected in Egypt now and all of that. Come on, please. It's the same nonsense conspiracy. It's just, all they did was change the target from Jews, now it's Muslims. But notice, you'll see, as I'm proving, that all of these arguments are the very same arguments. They're just redone with a new target. That's all. Same argument, same thing. Eating, the cannibalism, the permission to lie, the conspiracy document, the so-called secret conspiracy documents found. Same arguments. So let's go ahead and take a look at this and show you that the Protocols of Elders of Zion argument, the idea that they found some secret documents, which they're now claiming they found for the Muslim Brotherhood, which documents how supposedly the Muslim Brotherhood is conspiring to take over the West and infiltrate Western societies and all of that. It's the same claim that was made about the Jews. Let's take a look at that one.
In 1903, portions of the Protocols of the Elders of Zion were serialized in a Russian newspaper entitled, it's translated as The Banner. The version of the Protocols that has endured and has been translated into dozens of languages, however, was first published in Russia in 1905 as an appendix to The Great in the Small, The Coming of the Antichrist, and the Rule of Satan on Earth by Russian writer mystic Sergei Nilus. So again, you notice this is the same kind of theme too, because of course the same thing that the Western Anglo-Christians are doing again with Islam. It's all tied into this evil, satanic, Antichrist type theme or ideology, and now they're doing the same thing with the Muslims as well. So let's read more. You even had prominent people, for example, Mr. Henry Ford. That's right, Mr. Henry Ford of the Ford Motor Company, the man who invented the Ford motor car. He said in an interview published in the New York World, February 17, 1921, he said, quote, "The only statement I care to make about the protocols is that they fit in with what is going on. They are 16 years old, and they have fitted the world situation up to this time. They fit it now." So he was one of those people who believe that the protocols of Elders of Zion was true, just like you have today. You have a lot of politicians and people who are in prominent positions who actually consider these documents and things about Muslims also true. So again, not much has changed from these bigots. Although the exact origin of the protocols is unknown, its intent was to portray Jews as conspirators against the state. In 24 chapters of protocols, allegedly minutes from meetings of Jewish leaders, the protocols describes the secret plans of Jews to rule the world by manipulating the economy, controlling the media, and fostering religious conflict and other ideas. It talks, they claim that it talks about infiltrating the governments and taking control of the law institutions and all kind of things like that. So it's pretty much the same thing that they claim with the Muslim Brotherhood document. Let's take a look at that. During the Holy Land Foundation trial, a document was entered into evidence claiming to be written in 1991 by a person named Muhammad Akram. The document, an explanatory memorandum on the general strategic goal for the group in North America, appears to be the work of this self-described Muslim Brotherhood member and purports to lay out the goal of the Muslim Brotherhood in America. And of course, the document, like the protocols of the Elders of Zion, says to have plans for domination of America and the West, and to infiltrate the government and take over and implement Sharia law little by little upon the people. Same kind of conspiratorial charges that they put against Jews, claiming same thing, that there's this conspiracy to infiltrate Western countries, take over, and rule the world. So again, they've taken that charge off of Jews, or maybe they still keep it on Jews, but now they're also claiming that Muslims have the same thing. And again, there are some Jews who are involved in this propaganda, who you should, like I said, you should know better. But there are some Jews involved in promoting this same idea. I guess maybe they want to get it off themselves and say, well, good, as long as it's on somebody else and not them, they're happy. But come on, you should know better, and you should be ashamed if you are a Jew promoting this kind of nonsense. Sarah Posner has reported in an article entitled "Welcome to the Sharia Conspiracy Theory Industry." She says, "This claim that the Muslim Brotherhood's aim is a worldwide theocracy and that all American Muslim organizations fall into lockstep with it stems solely from a single 20-year-old document written by a single Brotherhood member in 1991. So you notice again, it's the same claim. Before they claimed it was the Jews who conspired to take over the world. Now they're claiming that the Muslims are conspiring to take over the world. So again, is this a coincidence, everybody? Or you think that this is too much? To me, this looks like too much to be a coincidence. I mean, a lot of the same exact charges are now being thrown on Muslims. This seems like more than just a coincidence. Let's continue. Gaffney and others have seized upon this document, developing theories that the goal is of radical Islamists is a global theocracy, and that the Muslim Brotherhood lurks in every corner of America. I believe this is George Washington University's Brown, who testified in the first Holy Land Foundation trial, said nobody has ever produced any evidence that the document was more than something produced by the daydream of one enthusiast. In other words, there is no evidence that this is an official Muslim Brotherhood document, and no evidence has been shown that it is nothing more than just the ideas of some person, some person's daydream, wish, but not any real official Muslim Brotherhood document. Same thing with the protocols of Elders of Zion. It's been said to be a forgery, that there's no real evidence to it. Who knows? Brown, the expert from the George Washington University, continued by saying, noting that he has been studying Palestinian, Egyptian, Kuwaiti, and Jordanian Brotherhood movements since 2005. Brown added, nothing in anything that I have heard has ever struck me as similar in tone or content to the master plan. In other words, he's been studying the groups, the different brotherhood movements in all these different countries, and he said he's never come across or never heard of any documents to this supposed master plan to infiltrate and take over and implement Sharia upon the infidels of the West, kind of stuff. Okay? And yet the article continues and says, yet this single document has been used to create a mythology around a supposedly global plot. Brown, addressing the document, notes that the prosecution in the Holy Land case painted with a broad brush and probably should not be relied upon. There is indeed a loose coordinating international structure for the Muslim Brotherhood, but it has no real authority over the chapters. In other words, as I said earlier, the Muslim Brotherhood doesn't really have that kind of power to control these supposed other groups that, so it's just a bunch of paranoia. But again, see, you see these people, these Anglo-Western Judeo, or these Western Christians, and now included with them are Jews who as I said, who are propagating the same ideas. This is in their history, particularly the Western Anglo-Christian history. They for some reason they have a history of racism and bigotry that just seems so pervasive in their societies, almost like they can't help themselves. And now here they are doing it again. They don't learn from their ancestors' past mistakes. Instead of learning from it, here they are again in a new generation, continuing to foster hatred and bigotry of those that they hate or dislike in their society. It's really a shame. It's really a damn shame. And again, here is another comparison of a modern day, version of Julius Streicher, Robert Spencer, and comparison with Julius Streicher, the man who we spoke about earlier. Here again, look what it says. Robert Spencer says that Islam understands its earthly mission to extend the law of Allah over the world by force. That's Robert Spencer. And compare that with Julius Streicher, who during the Nazi Germany era, this is what he said. Julius Streicher said, "Do you not know that the God of the Old Testament orders the Jews to consume and enslave the peoples of the earth?" So again, you see, it's the same bigoted claims used against Jews. Now they're using it against Muslims. Again, this to me, this is too much. This is too much to be a coincidence. This seems like this is done by design. This is on purpose. This is planned, people. This is not just a mere coincidence that they're using the same arguments that they used against Jews. Now they're reusing them and rehashing them and just using them and just replacing the word Jew with the word Muslim. This is too much a coincidence. I think this is clearly by design. So again, everyone, understand, those of you who are propagating these ideas and accepting these ideas, you are just propagating the same old racist and bigoted ideas of your European ancestors. Shame on you. When are you going to learn?
So there we have it. So if you are one of these racist bigots who is repeating these lies, understand that you are nothing more than that. You are nothing more than a hate-filled bigot. You are doing as your racist ancestors, your bigoted ancestors did. You are just repeating the same lies against a group of people who you don't understand or who you don't like. And you're just repeating the same thing. And for the Muslims, understand that this tactic that was used against them, that is now being used against us. It was also used against Japanese Americans during World War II. It was also used against the Native American people of the continent of North and South America and the Caribbean. It was also used against black people to demonize them and to justify the racism that was perpetrated against us as well. This is why I say we should know better. African Americans, you should know better than to get involved in this nonsense, standing with these bigots and these races. It's also today used against Latinos. Remember a few years back, there was all this talk about, the illegal immigrants. You're the criminals, you Latinos, you Mexicans, right? You Latino, Hispanic, you're the criminals, they were saying. You keep coming in the country and you're the criminal. You're the reason for the criminality that's going on. You're the reason because people can't find jobs. So any Latino people who stand with these bigots, shame on you. Any Jews who are involved in this, shame on you, because all these people, you have been victims of this same type of bigotry, this same type of misinformation and propaganda. And some of you act like you forgot. Some of you act like you forgot, and now you stand with these people, and then I see you on the internet, and I'm like, what's wrong with you? You're repeating the same lies as these people. And I'm like, man, you should know better than that. As an African American, you should know better. Because you know what happened to I'm an African American too. We know what happened to us. We know the lies and the bigotry that was perpetrated against us. Hispanic, Latino, you should know better. Don't you see what they're saying about you? That you're all illegal immigrants. They hate that you speak Spanish. They want you to learn how to speak English. They want you to get rid of your culture. They hate you. You know, come on. Come on. Jews, you should know better. You definitely know all the lies and misinformation that has been perpetrated against your people. So it just makes me wonder, how come people forget? How come people forget what happened to their own people? And then now you got a new group. Now you want to be sitting there and condoning and spreading the same lies and misinformation. When are you going to learn to stop judging people by a small group of people from that group? Because that's exactly what happened to each one of the groups that I mentioned. You are all judged because of some group of people amongst you. And you're all blamed. We're all blamed for what a few people do. And now here you are doing the same thing with Muslims. And again, yeah, sure they can show you footage. Sure they show you videos. They did the same thing. Trust me. You go to these racist websites, the ones that want to say stuff against black, they can pull up stuff. Say, yeah, look at the crime statistics. Look at the video of the black people doing this. Look at the video of the Hispanics crossing the border illegally. Look at the video of the Hispanics robbing and stealing. See, they did the same thing in Nazi Germany. They have propaganda videos and movies and documentaries about Jews. They say, oh, see, look, the Jews are doing this. The Jews are doing that. They had videos. They had propaganda. They made documentaries. They had shows about it. Check it out. So don't say, oh, well, we got videos of Arabs doing this. Well, they have videos of African Americans doing stuff. They got statistics they can point out and say, look, see, yeah, look, you are criminals. Yeah, you are a bunch of gangster rapper thugs. See? So don't use that argument, because they believe me, they got stuff that you can pull out for all of these groups. They got statistics too about Hispanics. Look, Hispanics having all the babies. Look, Hispanics on welfare. Look, Hispanics doing this, Hispanics doing that. Hispanics drinking, getting drunk. Look how many people been killed by drunk driving Hispanic. Look, they can pull out videos. So don't use the argument, well, we see videos, because they got videos of you too. And again, it's still some people from amongst the group, but they want to use that to point and paint everyone as if all people are represented by whatever statistics they have or whatever video footage they think they have. Okay? So hopefully people will wake up and get wise and get hip to this propaganda. And hopefully we can defeat and overcome this misinformation, these lies, and this bigotry. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.